1.
Okay, this is section 5.2, solving systems of linear equations by substitution, and these are your 6 multiple choice questions. So we're going to go through these. I'm going to go through a couple of the examples, and then hopefully that will help you to solve the rest of them. So let's take a look at, exercise 1, which is not a step in how to solve a system of linear equations using substitution. Substitute the expression from a previous step into the other equation and solve for that variable. Add the two equations together and solve for both variables. Solve one of the equations for one of the variables. Substitute the value of the variable you found in the previous step into one of the original equations and solve for the other variable. Okay, so this is going to be this one. At no point in the substitution method should you be adding both equations together. So I actually Google searched systems of equations by substitution. So I'm going to look at this person's example up here. Solve this system of equation using substitution. 3y minus 2x equals 11 and y plus 2x equals 9. So let's look at this example. The first step is solve one of the equations for either x or y. This example solves the second equation for y equals. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is pick one of the equations and solve, or in other words, get y by itself. Now we're going to pick the second equation because the coefficient of y is already 1, so there's really only one step to this, and that is to subtract 2x from both sides. So this is the equation y equals 9 minus 2x. So what they did was they rearranged this second equation to get this equation. So replace the y value in the first equation by what y now equals. So now we know that y is equal to 9 minus 2x. This is where the substituting comes in. We go to the other equation and we rewrite it 3y, but instead of writing y, we write 9 minus 2x because we know that y equals 9 minus 2x. Minus 2x equals 11. So we find out what y equals in the second equation in the system. Once we figure out what y equals, then we, instead of writing 3y, we write 3 9 minus 2x because these are the same thing. Then you use algebra to solve the new equation for x. So what I would like you to do in your notes section for big ideas, I want you to copy down this entire example. Okay? So you'll have to pause the video in order to do that. And then I'm going to go back, if I can find it, to your quiz. And I'm also going to do exercise 2 because we talked about that. When solving a system of linear equations by substitution, which does not describe an equation that you would look for as the easiest to solve for a variable. So if I go back here, I'm going to pick a variable to solve for. So which one do I pick and why? I'm going to try to pick one that has a coefficient of 1. So look for an equation that's already solved for y. That's the best way to do it because it's already solved for you. You already know what y is. Look for an equation that is in slope-intercept form. That's the same thing as solving for y. That's y equals mx plus b. Look for an equation with a variable with a coefficient of 1 or negative 1. Either one is a good thing. And then look for an equation that has variables with fractional coefficients. So this would be the least likely you would want to solve for. If you have, for example, an equation like 3/4 x plus y equals 12. It's about to get real loud because kids just got let out. If you can see, it's 12 o'clock on a half day. So for this example here, I would want to solve for y. I would not want to solve for x because it has a fractional coefficient. So number 2 is this one, this option here. So I want you to see if you can answer the rest of the questions on your own and see how you do. And also, you need to make sure that you are copying this sample problem down in your notes. So that might take you a couple extra minutes.